the digital realm is its own consciousness. And the difference between that and the one we're in now is that we find ourselves in nature. Nature is. We grew through nature. The digital realm grew through us, in a way. And it has our consciousness, but if we're not aware of what we're putting on it, and it doesn't mean we have to like be too overtight or stuffy about it or let everything out, but I think somewhere in between there's a way of working with it and integrating. And I think what we're coming to now is that there are people more and more that I'm meeting who are putting the smartphone down. They are going back to land. They want to learn about farming. They want to learn about this life, because while everybody's off in digital la-la land, and it can be fantasy, which is very dangerous for adults, to think that they're living, truly living, but they're actually existing in a fantasy version of themselves. Like that is the most, to me, that's the most dangerous. Because as adults, you're living in a foolishness that at some point, and I've experienced it and other people have experienced it, I spent 2 weeks in New York without any sort of access to digital anything, not even being able to make a phone call without a payphone. Thank God for the payphones had not been taken out at that time. But understanding how limited it can make our own consciousness. It's like if you're constantly feeding your baby and never feeding yourself, when do you get to restore yourself? And I think part of what's dumbed people down as a result of those who are over-engaging with it, or their entire social circle is only through the digital realm, is that they are dumbing themselves down by not restoring their own energy. Interacting with an object or a device like that just pulls, it doesn't, you know, it might say, I like you, but it's not the same as someone coming and like putting a hand on your face or on your shoulder. And if someone, you know, many friends of mine have people who are going through crisis right now, and they'll ask for prayers or they'll ask for blessings, and like when they ask for that blessing, there are a lot of people that will say, blessing sent, done, it's been done, it's been done. But like, I wonder how many people actually show up with the person, and instead of like the sign of namaste, they actually are there with their friend to hold their hand through the experience. And I think what's happening is people are living in isolation and depression as a result of the interaction with a one-dimensional being that's just pulling their energy and not reciprocating. And that at one point is going to bubble up. And it does bubble up in people's lives, and I think they are ashamed because so much of their social life has been on a digital format that shows them to be one person. But then you look behind the smoke and mirrors and you see that the person is in total disarray, that the verbiage they're using is their attempt to try to fit in, just like high school. And then I see other people using the digital realm as a beautiful consciousness and treating it like a being. It may not have a physical form, but I will tell you, I've made digital art since 2010. And I rarely show it, it's just for me. The way that these colors come together, the way that the depth happens when I overlay and overlay and overlay colors and images, there is an interaction with that realm, and there is a consciousness that I am tapping into. And it's beautiful. What it made with me digitally was absolutely gorgeous. And myself, and I know many other people, are also focusing on putting information into the digital realm that's uplifting, intimate, personal, connected, so inspired by true life events that are often not delightful. You know, they're often the opposite. I did this practice for a while. When I would hit a really challenging moment in my life, I would take a picture of myself smiling, because I could see all of it on my face. You know, it wasn't for show, it was the real human experience that can be shared across the digital realm. And imagine integrating that into a living world. Not just ostracizing the living world and separating from the digital, and then you're poor, you can't afford it, so you can't play anymore, and only the ones that can afford it get to like elevate their consciousness with the digital world, which is just nonsense.